Today we're going to do a super quick cleaning of a Sig Sauer P365. This is the XL version. We're only going to use a couple of items. We're going to use Ballistol, which is a fantastic overall. It's a CLP, it's a cleaner, lubricant, and protectant. We're going to use a bore snake for the inside of the barrel, some cotton swabs, a gun brush, and some cut up t-shirts. That's all we're going to use to clean this gun. Alright, so first of course we need to verify that the gun is unloaded. No magazine in the gun and no round in the chamber. Alright, and while the slide is locked back, we're going to rotate the takedown lever, press the slide back to release the slide stop, and the slide will come right off the front of the gun. Put the frame aside. Now we're going to take the recoil spring and guide rod and press back on it and lift up a little, and it comes right out. And then barrel will lift right out of the slide. Alright, so I just had this gun to the range. It's not super dirty, but I did put a few dozen rounds through it. So it doesn't have a lot of buildup, but there is dirt in the slide cuts. There's a little bit of carbon building up on the breech face, so we're going to get that. But the dirtiest part of the gun is going to be inside the barrel. So if you look in here, you can see the dirt build up in the grooves there all the way down the inside of the barrel. So we're going to look at that when we're done and see what a good job the Ballistol does. I recently started using Ballistol. I saw on some other videos how good this stuff is. It lubricates, protects, it cleans, it dissolves traces of copper, lead, and brass inside the gun, and mostly it's skin safe. I don't like to use gloves just because I can't really feel what I'm doing and putting the guns together. It's easier without. You can use gloves if you like. It's not going to harm any plastics or wood stocks that you might use it on. We're going to do this on my nice gun cleaning mat, so I don't want to get a bunch of oil on it. So we're going to put a plastic cover down here, a couple paper towels. First thing I'm going to do is let the Ballistol get to work. So I'm going to just kind of fill the barrel with Ballistol both ends. Put a little coating on the outside as well. And we're going to let that sit, and that's going to work on loosening all the dirt. Same thing with the slide, although with the slide, we don't want to get oil or Ballistol into the firing pin hole here, because that's going to get into the firing pin channel, and that's down here as well. We don't want any oil going down in here. So other than those areas, we're just going to spray a little bit of Ballistol in the slide cuts here, both sides. And we're going to spray a little bit down in here. And we're going to spray just a little bit in the top here. Okay, as that sits, that's going to spread out because it is oil. The frame, same thing. We're just going to put a little bit along here, a little bit along here, a little in here. I'm not going to get too much in there. Just get some cleaner in there, some Ballistol, and we're just going to let it sit for about 10 or 15 minutes. Now the recoil spring and guide rod doesn't really need to be cleaned per se. I just like to kind of wipe these down with the cloth. If you see a bunch of carbon starting to build up inside there, you can just get your gun brush and just kind of go in there and clean in between the spring there. That'll get any of the buildup out of there. And after you do that, then just wipe it down. Alright, really pretty simple. Get everything coated with a little bit of cleaner. We're going to let it sit for a little bit and then we'll come back and clean it all up. Alright, so it's actually been about a half an hour, and now we're going to clean up the barrel first. So we're going to use a Hops number 9 bore snake. This is a Viper bore snake. There's an original one which is a little bit shorter. It's a long piece of material that you use to clean the inside of the barrel, and it's got built-in copper brushes here to brush the inside and loosen up the dirt and pull it all out. Then the rest of this piece here is like a bunch of patches that's going to clean and polish up the inside of the barrel. So basically we're just going to take this. It's already got the Ballistol in there that's been working on it for a while. So we're just going to pull this through. The brushes are going to kind of scour things, and then the rest of the bore snake is going to kind of polish things up as it goes through. So I usually put this through at least 2 times, sometimes 3 if it's a really dirty barrel, but 2 times is usually going to do the trick. Pull that through, and before we take a look inside, I'm going to wipe the outside off a little. Should have done that first, but that's okay. Alright, we're just going to Wipe that off. That's going to clean the outside of the barrel real nice and clean. Alright, the other thing you want to do is get your feed ramp right here. That should be nice and clean and polished. And then these little areas right here. Alright, now let's take a look inside the barrel and see how good a job this did. Oh, that is clean. You can see kind of how clean that barrel is on the inside. It's a real good quick way to clean the inside of the barrel. A little Ballistol and a bore snake. Alright, so we're pretty much done with this. Alright, now let's get the slide back up here. Alright, now we just want to wipe the slide clean. We got the Ballistol in there. It's been working. Just going to wipe it all down real good. What you can do is use your gun brush and push the cotton cloth into the grooves, into the tight spaces, just like that. It does a good job at getting the cleaner out from all the tight spots in there. Let me try both sides. Alright, then push it down in there. Alright, we also want to use these cotton swabs. I love these cotton swabs. These are double tip cotton swabs. It's got a regular tip on one end and a pointy end on the other. The pointy end is perfect for fitting right in the slide cuts. Getting them nice and clean. And then the bigger end is good for just the general areas like this. Now we also want to make sure we get the breech face here. We don't want to spray that directly, as I said, with Ballistol or any kind of oil, but we can certainly use a little of the overflow. You can see that gets pretty dirty. Alright, and then just kind of use your cotton swabs and your cloth to clean everything up in here. Make sure you get both of these slide cuts with the pointy end of your cotton swab. And again, if you don't get 100% of the Ballistol out of there, it's not a big problem because it's a lubricant and it's going to help lubricate your gun anyway and prevent rust. Alright, now you also want to get this area here. It's looking pretty good. And if the outside needs a little cleaning, you can get a little bit of Ballistol on there and get one of your cotton rags, cotton cloths, and just wipe it down real good. Great way to help prevent rust, but you don't want too much on there because you don't want your slide to be slippery either when you're using it. So the slide's looking pretty good. And the frame, we're going to do basically the same thing. We got the oil, the Ballistol, still doing the cleaning here, so we're going to give it a quick wipe down just with the rag. And then we'll use the brush to kind of get in the grooves and tight spaces here. Alright, and then once you got everything you can with the cloth, just get your pointy tips in there. Do your best to get everything out of there. Like that. Anything that looks like it's got some carbon on it, just give it a good wipe down. All right, and if the outside of the gun needs some cleaning, you can put a drop of Ballistol on a clean rag and wipe that down. All right, everything looks pretty good. So let's go ahead and we're going to do just a little bit of lubrication here. You don't need much to lubricate a SIG P365. So what I'm going to do, I'm not going to drip any oil on here. I'm going to put a little bit of Ballistol right on the cotton swab here, and I'm just going to put a little bit on this rail here, a little bit on this rail here, just a little bit up here on the slide. I'm going to put a little bit down in here because that's where the top of the barrel rides along there. I'm going to put a little Ballistol on this pointy tip here, just a little bit, and we're just going to put a little oil in these slots or on the sides, slide cuts. Alright, and the barrel itself, I'll just put a couple, literally a couple of drops on it. Just kind of smear those around a little just to leave a little residue of oil on there. And that's about all you need. Very little oil, If there's any drips, you want to wipe them off because you don't need that much. All right, put the recoil spring guide rod in. All right, goes in just like that. And then we're going to take the firearm. Make sure this takedown lever is sitting, pointing like that. It can be loose like that, that's fine. Okay, and then line it up with the rails so it slides on nice and smooth like so. And then bring it all the way back, thumb up, and sometimes this will pop right back into place, which mine just did, and that's okay. But if this is still in the down position, just flip it up so it looks like this, and then you can press your slide release and the gun will close. Now just work the slide a few times, make sure everything feels right, and now you want to do your final wipe down. If you have fingerprints or a little extra oil kind of oozing out anywhere, you don't hopefully have much of that, because you don't want to use too much oil. Too much oil is not going to hurt anything other than it's going to attract dirt. So you'll want to clean your gun pretty often if you use a lot of oil. All right, so there you have it. It is clean, all cleaned up and ready to go. Now what you'll want to do is a function and safety check. Up here in the corner, I did a video so you can just run through some quick function and safety checks to make sure that the gun is functioning properly. As far as the magazine goes, I have a video that I'll link to up here as well that you can go look at to see how to take your magazine apart and clean that up as well. All right, so please check out the description below for links to all the products that we used here. For the Ballistol, I highly recommend giving this a try. It's really easy to use. It works on a lot of stuff. You can use it all over the house as well. It is flammable though, so be aware of that. All right, well please subscribe and thanks for watching.